Did you know there are 6 different types of tea? Green tea and black tea are just 2, but what about the other 4? In this video, we're going to talk about the 6 different types of teas, how they are made, and what they taste like. This is an excerpt from our book Secrets of Green Tea, which you can get for free when you sign up for our newsletter at neoteas.com. This book is a 100-page compilation of everything we've learned after traveling around Japan and meeting with dozens of tea farmers. We'll talk about the benefits of green tea, how green tea is made, how to select the perfect tea, and how to prepare it. But today, we're going to start with the basics. Before we get started on our journey, it makes sense to answer one basic question. What is tea? Tea is more than just something you brew in your cup with hot water. It actually has a very specific definition. All true teas come from the same plant, Camellia Sinensis. Camellia Sinensis is an evergreen shrub native to southern China and India. It's been cultivated for the past 4,000 years as both a medicinal plant and as a social and cultural beverage. Hot drinks made from peppermint, rooibos, hibiscus, chamomile, and yerba mate are not actually teas, but rather tisanes, after the Greek word tisane, which literally translates to crushed barley. There are 6 main types of true teas: white tea, yellow tea, green tea, oolong tea, red tea, and dark tea. All 6 of these main types come from the Camellia Sinensis plant. One of the common themes you will notice here is that oxidation can lead to big differences in the types of teas being produced. When the tea leaves are picked, they will begin to oxidize, which will change not only the color of the leaf, but the chemical makeup as well, as the catechins are converted into theaflavins and theorubicins. A tea farmer can manipulate this oxidation process depending on how they produce the tea. And these processing styles are what lead to the different tea types. So let's start with white tea. White tea is the most minimally processed of all the tea types. The leaves and buds are picked and then allowed to dry off in the sun, which stops most of the oxidation, although this tea technically maintains some oxidation. White teas can be made from both old and young leaves, but it's most recognizable for these young white buds, which is where the tea gets its name. When you brew the tea, you may notice a very bright pale color if the tea is made from mostly buds, or an orange amber color if the tea is made with a lot of older leaves. The flavor is slightly dry with a hint of fruitiness. Next, we have green teas. Green teas are unoxidized. After the leaves are picked, they are heated to stop the oxidation process. The tea retains its more grassy or vegetal flavors, and the leaves maintain their green color. The flavor of the final green tea depends on the type of heating method. In Japan, it's more common to steam the tea leaves, and this is why Japanese green teas take on this fresh, almost seaweedy taste profile. In China, it's more common to heat the leaves in a large pan, and for this reason, the teas taste more cooked, with a slightly nutty flavor. These teas are great for cold brewing, and they often come with a high caffeine and theanine content. Caffeine and theanine work together in synergy to give you a long-lasting, calm alert energy throughout the day. Instead of getting a rapid jolt of energy and then a crash later on in the day, tea drinkers report having this long-lasting, smooth energy. If you want to try some of the best green teas we found during our travels around Japan, you can browse our selection at neoteas.com. So next we have yellow tea. This is the rarest of the 6 types of tea. It's similar to a green tea, but with the extra step called the menhuan, or sealing yellow. After the leaves have been pan-fired, they are wrapped in a cloth as the natural aromas of the leaves are sealed in. Apparently, this softens the grassy taste that people normally associate with green teas, making it a unique category altogether. Because the grassiness has been mellowed out during the menhuan phase, the flavor of this tea is in between a green tea and a white tea. Next, we have oolong tea. Oolong tea is partially oxidized, anywhere between 15 to 85% oxidation. Oolong is a broad category of tea, but many oolong teas follow a similar pattern. The leaves are picked and then withered in the sun, and then they are bruised or rolled. This exposes the enzymes of the leaf to oxygen and speeds up the oxidation process. Once the oxidation process has been accelerated, it's later slowed down as the tea leaves are pan-fired. The leaves are then continuously rolled and dried, and in some cases, roasted. Oolong is actually the most processed of the tea types, so it doesn't need to be made from the top buds and sprouts. It can actually be made from the older tea leaves. The flavor of less oxidized oolongs can take on a fresh, sweet, and floral flavor. The darker oolongs can take on a hint of spice, fruit, and a little bit of char. While most teas in Japan are green teas, there are a few farmers in the south of Japan that are producing rare Japanese oolong teas using traditional methods. This tea takes on a light, floral flavor profile with a nice creaminess to it. And if you want to try it, you can find it on our website, neoteas.com. Next, we have red tea. In Europe and North America, this tea is called black tea, but in much of Asia, it is referred to as red tea or Heicha, so as not to be confused with Heicha or dark tea. This tea is not heated after harvesting, but it's rather allowed to oxidize naturally, up to 90 to 95% oxidation. After the tea leaves are picked, they are either hand or machine rolled to accelerate the oxidation process. During the oxidation process, the tea trades these fresh, grassy notes for warmer notes of caramel or cooked fruit. The leaves turn a dark brown color and the liquor is a beautiful amber or ruby color. Before we get to the final tea on our list, it would really mean a lot to us if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel and like this video to see more tea videos in the future. Without further ado, let's get into dark tea. So this tea is also known as post-fermented tea. This includes the better known Puer tea, although the term Puer technically refers to dark teas produced in the area of Yunnan, made from large leaf tea varieties. The broader category is Heicha, or dark tea. These teas are often pressed into cakes and stored for long periods of time to develop their flavors. These tea cakes were originally made to be transported long distances across China. As the leaves traveled through many different climates, they accumulated microorganisms that led to a natural fermentation. This natural fermentation is still replicated in the so-called raw Puer teas, which are quite similar to green teas, but with a smoother and more mature flavor profile. Ripe Puer tea undergoes an accelerated fermentation process called wo tuoi, or wet piling, where the leaves are piled up and sprayed with water so they can ferment within a matter of weeks rather than years. This tea takes on a black color, almost like coffee, and has a much earthier flavor to it. If you'd like to learn more about tea, just click the link in the description and we'll send you our book, Secrets of Green Tea, absolutely free. We included just a few pages of information in this video, but when you get the book, you'll have access to all 100. You'll also get 10% off premium Japanese green tea and teaware at neoteas.com when you sign up. Thank you all so much for watching, and we look forward to teaching you more about tea.